Hey everyone, it's Rob Ryder. Today, with liberty and justice for all, just like it says in the Pledge of Allegiance, by the river, the village of Babylon, New York. Sui juris acknowledged by the court 10/10/2017, which is another 10, actually, so 10/10/10. Brought to you by Rob Ryder, whose email address is courtofrecord@aol.com, and my phone number is 616-712-6179. It's October 11th, 2017. So what we're going to talk about just happened yesterday. And I'm doing two different things. I'm going to go through the papers now in this, and then butt together with it a recording I did with the gentleman that was in court and had the story to share. And that's what we're going to work on. And he may have gotten some liberty and justice after all. Because unless somebody can, and if you can, put it in the comments, right? Have you ever been to court and heard a judge, when they called the court, told everybody to rise, the judge came in, before he sat down, he faced the flag and said to the crowd, would everybody please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance? And in an open court, a judge recited the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. The judge said it, everyone in the courtroom said it. Well, let's see what kind of story goes with that. Before we go there, if you can, please donate. PayPal, robryder@aol.com. I opened a new account. So that's the PayPal account number or name. Or domestic mail, Robert Allen Rytlewski, RYTLEWSKI, 10955 14 Mile Road, Northeast, Rockford, Michigan, 49341. Although I may not have to ask for donations much longer if this turns into a positive. I mean, you can donate to me to have me write something, and, well, I just don't want to call it work, because I'm not working for you. I'm working my way towards getting out of the system completely, and to do that I have to eat, put a roof over my head. Other than that, I just want to work on this. These kinds of things. So let's see what happened. Let's look first at a ticket. So some poor defendant, Costello, Craig A., was issued some simplified information certificate concerning violation of law relating to vehicles. New York State Department of Motor Vehicles. This is their form. So the state of New York is stealing somebody's identity, right? Craig Allen Costello is Craig Allen Costello, and he's nobody else. He's not Costello, Craig A. If you put that on, the form is created that way, so that's the way they fill the box out. Well, that makes the fiduciary responsible, right? So it's a case against the fiduciary, who's the state of New York or New York State. Don't remember which way it is yet. We'll get there in a minute. So this is, what passes for a traffic ticket in Amityville Village, New York, where, just looking at what they did, the name is wrong. In violation of VTL. Well, VTL doesn't stand for anything, right? And then it gives some violation section to something that doesn't exist, so we really don't know what it means. And so then they put in some words and acronyms and stuff that don't mean a damn thing, and they want you to perceive that it does mean something. Into a place called the village of Amityville. All right. County Suffolk. Signed under penalty of perjury by somebody called Miller K. Right? Now, come on. Again, everybody has to use their full legal name. This is really simple. Everybody has to use their full legal name for it to be a legal matter. And Miller K doesn't cut it. First name K. I don't think so. right? So for me, it's like, well, there's just all sorts of things that are easy to pick up that's wrong on this, right? I mean, this is just on a ticket. If you take your ticket out, you're going to find the same kind of crap. They don't ever use their proper name. We're going to see that there is no court called Amityville Village Court. That isn't the name of the court. And there really is no place called Amityville. It's Village of Amityville, right? This is a place that doesn't exist at all. It's a fiction and a 5-digit zip code, right? Because there is a difference between 5 and a +4. So some kind of jurisdictional difference. So that was the ticket, right? And so I wrote for Craig. I wrote it like this, right? Made Craig the sui juris. Put your social security number on, claim it, it's yours, right? You're going to swear to it. Put your address, don't hide nothing. Village Justice Court is the proper name of the court, in the village of Amityville, New York, is the, I don't know if we could call that the venue. I guess we could, of the court, right? It's the area where the jury would be pooled from. So what we did is we made Craig Allen Costello the claimant against New York State et al. Made them the respondent. Motion for order to dismiss and for relief. Docket numbers, right? And these docket numbers come off of the tickets, right? So now some tickets, the ones I showed before on Michigan, they were kind of down on the side here, along the side. So they're all different, but I'm just taking information that came off of the form. Not trying to hide nothing. Notice of claim of affidavit, or notice of claim affidavit. Deprivation of rights under color of law, identity theft, opportunity to cure. Craig Allen Costello, being duly sworn, hereby deposes and says he has been victimized by agents of New York State, including identity theft, simulation of legal process, impersonation of public officer, deprivation of rights. New York State is negligence in the performance of its fiduciary duties to the people of the state of New York. Claimant offers New York State this opportunity to cure its negligence in lieu of claimant filing formal complaint in New York State Court of Claims against the fiduciary and its agents. Adjudicated facts of negligence under docket numbers. Number 1, New York State Department of Motor Vehicles Simplified Information Certificate Concerning Violation of Law Relating to Vehicles, the form we saw, the legal form, is constructed in such a way as to unjustly conceal the legal name and true identification of one of the people of the state of New York, and replacing with an unregistered assumed name, aka pseudonym, Costello Craig A. This style of form deprives me of my rights under color of law. Take judicial notice. Claimant's full legal name is Craig Allen Costello and must be used in all legal matters. Number 2, this illegal form states the person described above is charged as follows in violation of VTL. Take judicial notice that VTL is not a proper legal citation for any of the laws of the state of New York State. I believe I said that. Number 3, dockets claim charges affirmed under penalty of perjury, but no police or peace officer legal name is ascribed. Take judicial notice. K. Miller is not the style name of a registered police officer or peace officer of New York State, and the individual using this false identification has no authority to issue appearance tickets. Number 4, docket state Costello Craig A. must appear at Amityville Village Court, 21 Ireland Place, Amityville, New York, 11701. Take judicial notice, Amityville Village Court is not a court of New York State, nor is Amityville one of the municipalities, The code of the village of Amityville states the proper name of court is Village Justice Court, and the proper name of the municipality is Village of Amityville. Amity Village Court is an improper venue. Number 5. Courtroom furnishings include a gold fringed flag of the United States. Army Regulation AR 840-10 states this style of flag is displayed in military courtrooms. If claimant is under military rule, then the officers of the court have a duty to enforce the organic laws of the United States and protect the claimant from belligerents. Opportunity to cure, motion, order to dismiss, and injunctive relief. Claimant asked by motion and order to dismiss the dockets, discharge charges, and he received reasonable attorney fees and other relief the court deems just. This affidavit is made on my personal knowledge, and if sworn as a witness, I can testify competently to the facts in this affidavit. Wherefore, the undersigned respectfully request that within motion be granted. And I had a signature line, and then he went and had the notary stuff put on there. So that is what it looked like this way, and this is what it looked like when he got done. And they put a received sticker. It says Amityville Village. God, I think it says court. I don't think it says, I can't really read it. Something court. Amity Village something court. It doesn't say clerk of the court. Normally, the stamps I see on people's paperwork when they send it to me, it's got a filed stamp that it was filed in the clerk's office. But this is like it's been received by the court. And I want to make clear what Craig said he did is he told him when he went to the window, he wanted it made, he wanted it entered as evidence. He didn't say he wanted it filed into the file. He said he wanted it entered as evidence. And so maybe they grabbed a different seal because he said that. But that's not the same seal I normally see on people's paperwork. And how did we do this? Okay. And because I had forgotten to put anything down here, right? So he just went down to his notary and she finished it up and put her name on it. And that was good enough because then they took it to court and it was an interesting day. And he did this not just for this court, but for the Justice Court Village of Babylon, New York. So 2 different courts, 2 different sets of tickets, and very interesting to see how this all plays out. So hang on just a second, please. Pause. Okay, and so this was the other ticket from, you had to go to Babylon, right? Village of Babylon. So there's the docket number, 17088 or 170800046.01, 0.02, 0.03. So, right, there it is. 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. Put it in and, well, just change what needed to be changed for the place that it was compared to the place that we were earlier in the day. But both of these happened in the same day. And as Craig will say, he was, in both cases, he had been told he better show up to court with an attorney, and he didn't, and he doesn't have to go back to court anymore. Everything will be done administratively. And so I'm going to stop and just let Craig tell his story because he's the one who went and made it all happen. So thank you, Jesus, that we get to talk about something like this. Amen. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to stop and stop for just a minute, and then hopefully, if I do this right, in a minute, I'll have a conversation with me and Craig playing afterwards, and I can lay these documents on top and kind of just scroll through them as the conversation goes on. So, everybody have a great night, and God bless. See you.
Talk shoes. Recorded live.
Hey everyone, it's Rob Ryder. It's October 11th, 2017, and I'm doing a talk with Craig Costello from New York, and he's going to tell us a story about his day in court on the 10th, which was yesterday, based on some notice of claims that I had written for him that he submitted into court, and I'm going to let him tell the story. So, hey, Craig, just say hi and tell us something.
Hi, how's everybody? Okay, what I want to tell you guys, I got in touch with Rob. He sent me some really good paperwork. I actually had one court date during the day at 2:00 in a village of Babylon in New York, and then I had a 6:00 case at Amityville Village Court also in New York, and both those places are in Long Island.
They're on the same road, right? Just kind of up and down the coast from each other a little bit or something there.
Yeah, like they're both off Montauk Highway, so yeah, they're very close to each other, but about 10-minute ride in the car. Well, I got the paperwork. What I wanted to say ahead of time was I was really in a pinch. I was ordered by both judges to make sure next time I showed up with an attorney. One judge literally wrote a warrant on me from last week, but it didn't file it. It was on top of the file and not actually filed. So I was really in a pinch. And every time that I went back and forth to these places, which is numerous times, with other stuff and other tickets and everything, I was really treated in a really bad manner and basically just told what to do and you better be here, and lots of threats and lots of, they said that I have to get an attorney because that my charges I'm facing jail time, and, they really just laid it on pretty thick, just basically telling me they had full control over me and that there was nothing that I was going to do but do what I told them to do, which is do what they told me to do, which is hire a lawyer, pay the fines whenever it was all said and done, and that's it. They didn't really care.
Right, maybe you won't get any jail time. We're not quite sure yet, but all these other things you're going to do anyways.
Right.
Right, then we'll throw your ass in jail. So, yeah, okay.
So they really, they just, every time I went there, I didn't like going there. It was just, I didn't even want to go there. It was just bad experience all around. So, come to what happened yesterday is I got the paperwork. I brought it to a local notary, got everything notarized. She also took out her stamp and stamped the paper on the bottom. And then I went and made 3 copies, one for the judge, one for the original wet copy was going into the folder, I believed. So I had that and 3 other copies, one for the district attorney, one one for me, one for the judge, and one for anyone else that I needed in case the cop was there. So when I first walked into Babylon, what I did is I was going to go earlier and give them the paperwork, but then I wanted to surprise them a little bit because I just felt like if I would have went in there, maybe it would be a different situation. So about a half hour before.
But at 2:00, right? This is 2 p.m., so you didn't have to be there first thing in the morning. So you had time, and you decided to go, right?
I decided to go about 30 minutes prior to court, where everything's getting all ready to go. So I literally walked in the front door, went right to the clerk window, and I handed her the papers, and I said, "Can you please stamp these in? And I would like one of these to be I would like the wet copy, meaning the original copy, to be put into the court file, please." So the court
file or evidence or
evidence. I mean, I wanted the original to go into evidence.
Okay, because that is otherwise I think they may handle it different depending.
Right.
Had she put any stamps on it yet, or had you just given it to her and?
I just handed it to her, and then she started stamping them in front of me.
Okay.
And I also, I'm trying to think what happened. You stopped me from my train of
Oh,
thought.
that's a problem. I shouldn't do that.
My train of thought.
The reason I wanted to know is because yours has a received stamp. It doesn't have a file stamp on it. You've shown it to me.
Okay.
And,
Right.
right. I just wondered if, because you said you wanted it to be an exhibit, she used a different stamp.
Right. Got you.
That's what I was
Okay, so the reason why I wanted to say something about her is the clerk was not there. So this was literally the secretary that was doing this. And when she read a little bit about whatever she was stamping, she was getting nervous, you could see, and she was looking to the back to see if anyone was there that could handle it. And I kind of just rushed her to stamp them all. And then I said I'd be back at 2 o'clock. So I took the one copy or the 2 copies that I had with me. They were already stamped. I brought them with me and I left. And then I showed up at 2 o'clock, and I actually showed up about 5 minutes early to just sit in the audience and see what's happening. And it seems like the same time that I got there, the court clerk got there and also the town attorney at the same time. And they were instantly called into the office, everybody. And then 5 minutes later, the judge showed up from, I guess he was upstairs, and he went into the office, and I heard them arguing loudly back behind the door, saying, "What are we going to do with this? What are we going to do with this?" And then I heard somebody say, "Well, it's against the state, not against us." And then I heard somebody say, "Oh no," or whatever. And then they all came out, and the judge went up there, sat on the bench. They made everybody stand. The judge went up, sat on the bench, and went over some instructions. And then immediately after his instructions, he called my name, Craig Costello. I walked up towards the bench. I said, they asked you your name and your address. I said, Craig Allen Costello, and I gave him my address, 236 Edgemere Street, apartment 414, Montauk, New York, 11954. And the judge said to me, he says, "I understand that you have a claim, and the town attorney is here right now. If you want to serve it to him, now would be the time to give it to him." So I handed it to him. He looked at it. The judge already obviously looked at it. They all looked at it in the other room, so they knew what it was about a little bit, but it was the timing was off for them. In other words, they had 5 minutes to prepare for this. And, the judge said, "Mr. Costello, you handed him that. I have a copy right here I'm reading one right now." And he goes, "This is going to take a little bit of time to get back in touch with you on this." I'm like, "That's fine. I'm just here to try to have this taken care of administratively. It came from a long way away. I'm in Montauk, and I just do not want to come here. So if we can handle everything by mail from now on?" And he said, "That will not be a problem, Mr. Costello. We will handle everything by mail. We will not have you come here. We will let you." And then he asked the town attorney, "How long is it going to take you to answer, Mr. Costello?" And the town attorney said, "I don't know, maybe 2 weeks." And he said, "Okay, Mr. Costello, you'll be hearing from us in the next 2 weeks." And I said, "Well, I'm not going to have to come here, right?" He says, "Nope, you don't have a date to come back here. So just wait for the mail. We'll get in touch with you by mail." And that was it. So that was done. I walked out of there. So then I was saying to myself, I don't want to go to Amityville Court at 6 o'clock tonight and possibly not get my paper stamped because the office is closed. Because when they have night court, I've noticed before that I tried to get something done in the office and the office closes at 4. So if you come to night court and you need something from the clerk, you're out. There's nothing they can do about it. So and all of my stuff was dated and signed, and I wanted to make sure that it went through. So I said, you know what, it's 2 o'clock. Let me jump in my car. I jumped in the car. I went to the other court. This way I could get everything filed and stamped while I was there. So I went up, I did that, and as soon as I handed the paper, as soon as she kind of looked at, first I handed it to her and said, can you please check this paperwork in? I want to serve, I want one to go into evidence. I want to serve one on the town attorney, and I would like the judge to get one. And can you do that for me? So she looked at it. She pulled it through the window and looked at it and started reading it, and then got really quiet and looked over to the left where there must have been a clerk sitting there near the desk. I couldn't really see because there was like a little wall, and she was like mouthing words to her, like, and what do I do with this? I don't know. Can we do this? Can we do that? Can we do that? So she finally came back to the window and said, listen. She goes, we'll mark this in right now. Click, 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 click. Mark them all in. And then said, the only thing that we're not sure about is you may have to go to the town attorney's office in Central Islip right now and serve him. And I said, well, I just came from Babylon Village, which is the same town attorney, and I served him right in court in front of the judge on record. And she said, oh, okay, you could do that too, I guess. I'm not really sure. I said, okay. I said, is there any way that I can just give you this paperwork and that I don't have to come back tonight at 6 o'clock and you guys can handle this, administratively? And she said, no, you're going to have to come back. So I'm like, okay, I'll be here at 6 o'clock. So I went there about 10 to 6. I got to the courthouse, and I was a little nervous because, I had a great reaction in Babylon Village. You could see when I first got to Babylon Village and they first got wind of this piece of paper, they literally, if I can describe it properly, they literally scurried like rats, like all in and out of that office, out of the office, the judge over on near the desk, then over here, then over there. They literally scattered and were talking and discussing what they were going to do. So, but then, of course, when it came my time to go up to them, they acted like they, like nothing. So, that just goes to show the fraud right there. When people try to cover their tracks, they get very nervous at first, and then they just try to get past whatever they can get past.
Right. Now they're going to really act.
Figure out how much damage they need a day to ingest the damage. So when I went to Amityville, I was a little nervous because there's a woman judge there. Well, I'm sure she's not a judge. She's an administrative secretary, I'm sure. But she is very mean. And at one point, a couple years ago, when I had tickets in front of her and I really couldn't pay them, it was like $800 or something, she used to make me go there every Tuesday night and just sit there. Otherwise, she said that she was going to file a warrant against me, and that went on for quite some time. I think it took me almost 6-7 months to pay them. But they only have court on Tuesday night once a week.
Wow.
So what happened was I went to Amityville about 10 to 6. I went up through the metal detector upstairs on the 3rd floor, walked into the courtroom. Sat there. 45 minutes later, the judge comes out. Please all rise. So we all rise. Now it's already almost very close to 7 o'clock already. So all rise. So he comes out, we all rise, and then he turns towards the audience. He comes walking across from, north to south, and he's facing the opposite wall, and he turns to everybody in the courtroom and says, can you please stand with me for an extra minute? And then he turned heels directly towards looking at the flag in the corner, and he said, I would like to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like you to say it with me. So we all stood, we all did the Pledge of Allegiance, we all stated the Pledge of Allegiance,
Amen.
and we all sat down.
Amen.
All right.
Right.
So then we all sat down after that, and then we sat down. What was really crazy about this is that they knew about this, because remember I said I went there at 2:00, so they literally, when I brought the paperwork there from 2:00 to 6:00, they were already doing damage control. Like they were already trying to figure out how.
What are they going to say?
Smooth this over.
Right.
Right.
Because
exactly.
it was the same prosecutor too. I mean, you're going to go see the same guy that you just saw earlier in the day. Same.
Right, and the craziest part is the prosecutor was so shocked with the Babylon that he didn't realize that I was going to do the same thing in Amityville, and I guess nobody contacted him to tell him, because that I totally noticed his surprise when something happened, and I'll tell you about what happened.
Right.
So we were basically sitting there, and he went over the rules and all that stuff and started going through people. You know, this person, that person, $295, $95 surcharge, $380 defensive driving. They were giving out where you have to work, community service. They had people that they were not threatening, actually putting on probation. So, 3-year probation, 5-year probation. So I'm just sitting there like, wow, and this is going on for hours. There's lawyers up there. They're all acting like they're negotiating deals, and they're really not, because every one of the people end up paying fines. Nothing was dismissed. They would dismiss 2 tickets, but not the last one, and the last one happened to be $580.
Right.
So they would act like they're dismissing these 2 parking tickets, but you still have to pay them $560, whatever it was.
Pay the bond.
Yeah. So this gets really good. What happened is, the thing that really bothered me is when he first sat down, it was about 10 to 7. When they called my name, I was the only person in the courtroom, and it was 9:20 something. So I walked up to the desk. Hello, Mr. Costello. He didn't call me a defendant. He said, I see you have a claim in evidence here, and I said, Judge, I just have one question. I was actually with the town attorney in Babylon earlier today, and I served him in court. Can I also do that here? And he goes, well, hold on a second. Let me just see what you have, and let me read through it really quickly. And then he did that, and then he said, okay. He goes, sure, Mr. Costello. He's right next to you. Just hand it to him. And then the town attorney said, whoa, wait, hold on a second. And he opens up the file, and he goes, oh, no, Mr. Costello has an attorney. And I'm like, what? I'm Craig Allen Costello, and I'm here sui juris, and I definitely do not have an attorney, Your Honor. He goes, oh, yes, I have a facsimile right here that says that he has Miss whatever representing him. I don't remember the lady's name. I had one conversation with her 2 weeks ago, and she must have faxed over, thinking she had me as a client, faxed over a thing saying, that's my client, give me a new date.
Right,
so I never asked him for any of that. I never signed a contract with the lady. I literally had a 20-minute conversation with her and never talked to her again. So how that happened, I don't know. I said, and he goes, oh, that's not your lawyer? I said, absolutely not, Your Honor. I don't have a lawyer at all. I didn't sign any paperwork with a lawyer. I never met with that lawyer. I have no idea who that is. So you could see the town attorney put his hands up and just go, oh. So then he goes, okay, Mr. Costello, that sounds good enough for me. He goes, you want to hand that paper to the town attorney? I'm like, yes, here you go. I hand it to him. He looked at it. You could see when he looked at it that he's like, 2 times. Oh, my God, like, fuck. Wow. Why am I having this kind of a Tuesday? So the judge did the same thing. I said, Your Honor, I really want to just try to get this taken care of administratively. I don't want to be here. I don't like being here, and it's very far for me to drive here. Literally, when I leave here tonight, I am not going to get back to Montauk till 1 o'clock in the morning. He said, absolutely, Mr. Costello. Let's talk to the town attorney. sir, how long do you think it will take you to answer Mr. Costello's claim? And he said, I don't know, 2 weeks. So I said, well, Your Honor, if it's going to take him 2 weeks to answer it, does that mean that I have to come back here? He says, absolutely not, Mr. Costello. We will do all our communications with you through the mail. He goes, you won't have to come back here. There's no date for you to come back here. We'll get in touch with you by mail. Okay. And have a great night, Mr. Costello. Sorry to keep you here so long. We always run late somehow. And that was it.
Ain't that something? He wanted you to see the show, right? All these other people got ding, 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 right? Just running up the register.
Yeah. And I have a feeling that there's some reason why they kept me for last. Like they didn't want anything discussed in front of all these other people, especially the attorneys. All the attorneys were gone. All of the people were gone. So, that you could just tell that they wanted that to be like a secret thing.
Yeah, and people have told me this before, that if, put stuff into the clerk, that they end up waiting, being the last one heard and so forth. But I've never heard of anybody saying when they went into the court that the judge led the Pledge of Allegiance in a court.
I've talked to a couple people.
Right?
I've talked to, yes, right in front of a gold fringe flag. Right. I talked to a couple people, and they never heard of it either. I've been to that specific court about 30 times in total, and it's never been done there. They didn't do it in Babylon, but they did also have a gold fringe flag there, but they just handled it different. The reason why they handled it differently in Babylon Village is because they were blindsided with it, and they were coming back from lunch. Right. They were coming back from lunch. They weren't ready for this. You can tell by their faces and the way that they were grabbing files and running into the other room, and everything, all the movements that they were making were like these crazy movements, like they just heard some crazy news, like the district attorney of the United States of America is coming there right now. Right, you're going to have an inspection in 5 minutes, right? That's exactly the white behavior. That was their behavior in Babylon Village. Because what happened was, I think they flipped out when they found out the secretary just took that from me and stamped it. They might have tried to, they might have wanted to try to jerk me around a little. And when they found out, when they came back from lunch, that it was in and it was stamped, they must have lost control. Like, why did you do that? They probably screamed at that lady. But I think is that, you didn't ask to have it filed in the clerk's office. You asked to have it filed as evidence, right? And I believe that is very important. Say file it as evidence, because yours has a received by the court stamp, not a filed with the clerk stamp. Right. Which is why I see with a lot of people's court paperwork, it's, filed with I thought that's all there was. And I looked at yours and said, well, no, apparently they do have one for the court, and they used it. Right. So, they made it evidence, bro. This is like, wow, that was big time. And it's only one sheet of paper, right? It isn't like, you gave them some paper. It's the most liberating piece of paper I've ever handed somebody. Because almost all of the stress after I saw their reactions, and then when they started with the Mr. Costello, yes, Mr. Costello, yes, Mr. All of that, then it was like, wow, I'm on totally the other side of the baseball field right now. Right. I am like in with all the people right now, and I'm the one that has to complain, not people complaining against me. I'm not sitting there waiting for them to tell you, okay, Mr. Costello, how do you plead? I don't plead nothing. You know how I plead? Read my claim. Absolutely. And like you said, going in, you were supposed to have had an attorney with you in both cases, or or else with the words, or else. Sorry, you're asked to go into jail, man. Yeah, absolutely. Something's happening. Wow, this is just too big, Greg. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I'll tell you what, it just makes me want to carry everything this way. In other words, this is always the side that I want to be on. I never want to be on their side or being accused of anything from them. Right. I want to accuse them, and then let's see how that goes.
Right.
And then if
See,
you can
here's
get
the thing
past
with
my
clerk.
accusations, then we'll deal with yours.
And the thing is, the earlier you do it, the better. And in your case, it was still okay, but it wasn't your first time in court for these things, right? And
No, that wasn't my first time, but yeah, we were late. If I would have did that my first time, forget about it. It'd be like I walked in and walked out and
Right.
never even seen that place again. Done. I wouldn't even get to meet anybody in there.
Right.
I'd be the first one in and the first one out.
And the idea of filing it as a notice is that's the other key. It's really not a claim yet. It's a notice of claim.
It's a notice of claim that I will file a claim if they don't.
But it's
cure.
a notice, right? And
if
you're giving notice.
I'm giving you a chance. I'm being a nice guy, and I'm giving you a chance to cure. If you give me a hard time and you don't cure, then we're going. Then we're going. Then we're going to file the big paperwork. And that's going to be it. So I think that they fully realize that, and I don't think we're going to have any issue for what
I believe the agents, as the paper reads, and I'll be showing the paper when I make this into a video so everybody can see what it says, they're just going to do what they were, they have a chance to cure it. You take care of it, or we're going to file a claim against the state of New York in the state's court of claims because you didn't.
Right.
And just saying that is really what's making these people, well, shit, whoa. So, wow, Craig, that's beautiful. That's really, really great.
You, man, just the treatment. The treatment is worth it. The treatment is worth it. The way that you're treated like a gentleman.
Yep.
Like a gentleman instead of a scum defendant. Now they're the defendant.
Well,
and
as you had asked me earlier, what about things that that you had already had to deal with before? But see, none of this stuff is ever closed. Maybe if it's more than 7 years old, it might be closed, but I don't even know that to be true. Fraud doesn't have a
date.
Statute of limitation, right?
Right. I don't think so. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, if you can go online and you can still see the court case is there, then you can still put paperwork into it.
Right.
Right? So file a notice of claim into whatever court case you have, no matter how old it is, based on the shit that happened and A, B, and C. And that's a thought. I'm going to try to extrapolate on that over the next couple of weeks. But I'm just glad to have you tell the story because this is just huger than can be. And we got the court case numbers. I can go check them. You can go find out for yourself what happened to Craig. But it just happened yesterday. Outstanding.
Yeah, just happened yesterday. So give it a couple of days. Hopefully 2 weeks from now we'll have.
You're going to call me. So Craig will call me when something happens, and hopefully we can share it and see what happens. See, I'm going to do the same thing now with somebody's title insurance because the title insurance is either written to the lender or it's written to the owner. And this one guy, he's got a lender copy. So the lender is actually the insured, which means they're the ones insured for their, for their mistakes.
Right.
They have the insurance. Right. Well, they didn't entitle it to these people in their proper name, and the bank really isn't a bank, right? Really, all the same things we talk about in a court is the same for everything. That they're not operating as they're supposed to, and so we're going to file a claim into the insurance company to the address that it says to, using the same logic, and see if we can get the insurance company to pay for a foreclosed house.
Right.
So that'd be huge, right? I say, okay, let's go file more notices. So
file them. This way they know that they're coming. But I'll tell you what is the real shame of it all. The real shame of it all is the 50 other people that were sitting in that courtroom that every one of them had to pay or sign up for probation or take a 5-hour driver's course, and they have no idea because they literally are standing right next to a lawyer that they probably gave $1,500 to, and he's selling them upstream to the court with a smile on his face. Oh, how you doing, Judge? Oh, yeah. Oh, hi. Yeah, shaking hands with this one, shaking hands with that one. Yeah. But meanwhile, I feel bad for these people. I mean, now that I realize that there is hopefully that this works out great, and there's I see this through, but anything besides that, You know, these people make believe they're your friend. They make believe they're fighting justice for you, and they're in on it. And they're literally in on it. So it's terrible for people.
Right.
And I really wish that people would do more research and really get to know everything and the power that they have when they walk into these courtrooms. I literally felt more powerful than any person that was in there, regardless of whether it was a district attorney, a lawyer, a judge. I felt more powerful than the judge. Only did I feel more powerful than the judge because of the way he reacted to my paperwork. In other words, if it was no big deal to him and he didn't really care and he still did all the same things that he did, no. He was a totally different person. He spoke to me in a different way. He let me ask any question I wanted. If I was up there as a defendant, no, you can ask questions later. No, no. Not this time. Yes, Mr. Costello. Yes, Mr. Costello. Yes, we will get in touch with you by mail, Mr. Costello. Yes, we will not make you come here again. Yes, Mr. Costello, whatever you want. That's literally the language that they used with me and the feeling that they gave me.
That's just beautiful, man. That is.
And the one of the best parts is, can I ask you a question, Judge? Yes, Mr. Costello. I've never heard that before. Never.
Yeah,
Can I
you're
ask
in New
you a
York,
question,
and
Judge?
we're not talking really nice people anyways. Well, they're nice people, don't get me wrong, but, we call it the East Coast attitude, right? It's like, you're dealing with the East Coast attitude, absolutely.
Before, if I would have done that before and I didn't have this paperwork filed, Your Honor, can I ask you a question? Your lawyer can ask me a question when he gets here. Sit down, Mr. Costello. This was, can I ask you a question, Judge? I'm just a little, I just want to make sure the paperwork is all filed properly. You have the original up there. Just wanted to know about the copy that the town attorney gets. And, sat there, answered me, didn't get upset, very, just very easy on me.
Did he read anything out loud in the court? You said he was reading it. Did he read it, something like the title or something into the record, or?
No, he read it to himself. He didn't read anything.
Himself, I got it. Yep. Okay.
So,
okay, brother. Well, thank you very much for the time, right? And we'll work on whatever late ones there are in a little bit, but I'm going to get this video together and
awesome. I can't
get these other couple things done, and we'll just see how much room there is to do in this. But, this happened just happened, brothers and sisters. That's beautiful. Thanks, Craig.
Great. Have a great night, Rob. Thank you.
Okay, Nick. I'm going to, shutting off, so thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, bye-bye.